Hey everybody, this is General Poppades back making another video, another tier list. Kind of like how I made last time with the Disney animated movies. This time I'm gonna do with superhero movies. Even though this one technically says all superhero movies, it doesn't have all of them, and I haven't even if it did I haven't seen every single superhero movie, but I probably some of them are really good. I heard that I haven't seen. I should check them out. Like Logan, I heard a lot of great things about that, so. Should probably check that one out. And then other ones here, yeah, I haven't seen. Some of them I consider, some of them probably not. And then there's yeah, all these movies here, which I will rank and you'll find out my opinion on soon. We're gonna go in order of release, I believe. I think this is the right order, at least the years anyway. I'm gonna start with Spider-Man, the original one in 2002. Up until, even though it shows Endgame is the last one, I will talk about Spider-Man Far From Home, even though it's not here. Uh, Yeah, I wish they just had those movies. I don't know why they didn't. They just stop at a certain point. But anyway, I digress. Let's just start with Spider-Man 2002. If you know me, you know I'm a big fan of this film and the Raimi trilogy as a whole and all the memes. But even with the memes aside, I still think this is a very good film. So, you know, like this film, it wasn't the first superhero movie we got, but I think the first one was the Superman, 1975, I believe. But the this is like the main reason we have good superhero movies today. Like all most of these movies here that came out after this, this movie is the reason we have like the Dark Knight trilogy, the MCU, and all these great movies. So we always gotta respect it for that. But even like in terms of like the movie itself, it's a great origin story. It tells a great story about Peter Parker and how he becomes Spider-Man. And, like, he has great characters, for the most part at least. And then, like, Aunt May, Uncle Ben, J. Jonah Jameson is great as well. Green Goblin, Norman Osborn is an amazing villain, probably my favorite Spider-Man villain. And it's just a great film with great action, great story, and great message about responsibility. And for that, I'll give it an S tier. Next, we got Hulk 2003. It came out 2003, and I remember watching this as a kid a long time ago, so I definitely have some nostalgia for it, even though I don't have that much. Like I remember like watching it as a kid, but I don't remember what it was about. And then as I got older, I thought it's an okay film, and then every time I try to watch it, it's just I can't. It's just so hard. Like I can't sit through the whole thing. It's just impossible for me. It's just there's so much wrong, and I'm sorry. Like I don't like saying bad things about some movies unless I like genuinely hate it. This one I don't hate it, but like it's just so hard for me to sit through and like actually watch and enjoy it. Like it's too serious and dark in a boring and bad way. Just if you know what I mean. The action is okay at best, but it's just so hard for me to watch this one. Yeah, I'm probably gonna Brock. I don't know about Brock, but I'll put it in D tier. I guess just because Brock is just straight up awful. Like I never want to watch it. Like this one, like honestly, I probably don't want to ever watch it that much. But like, it's not the worst thing ever. Next we got Spider-Man 2, 2004, the sequel to the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man. This is a amazing film. Like it's got like everything great about the first film, and I will be honest. I'm just gonna go straight to the point. Think I do prefer the first one, but this one is still a very great film and a great follow-up. Does an amazing job continuing the story of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. It's a and Doc Ock is a great villain as well. I don't think he's as good as the Green Goblin, but he's still a great villain. Uh, it's got amazing action sequences, great story, like that train scene, that fight. Probably one of my favorite like fight scenes in any superhero film ever. Uh, yeah, it's a great film. It shows how Peter struggles and basically his life's horrible as a result of him being Spider-Man. So I think does a great job conveying a message of like injustice and also like choices and sacrifices. You know, making sacrifices in your life to do what's right. I think that's great. And I like Aunt May's speech to Peter when he gave up being Spider-Man, which kind of inspired him to come back. And yeah, it's just a really good film. I could watch it like all day, pretty much, just like the first one. I'll put it in S tier. Yeah, many people consider it to be like one of the best superhero movies ever, and I can definitely see why. Yeah. The Incredibles. This came out the same year as Spider-Man 2 came out 2004, and if you saw my Disney movie ranking, yeah, you saw where ranked this one. But I don't know. It's like I'm not talking about like the movie itself right now. I'm talking about the way I'd rank it because when I was looking at Disney films, like ranking it is different. It's different ranking on a Disney tier list than on a superhero tier list, if that makes sense. But yeah, anyway, like the movie's really good, fun family film. Uh, you know, Bob Parr, like Mr. Incredible, and yes, the world basically hates superheroes, but he wants to still be one, even though he's like has a family and stuff, and his family becomes superheroes. And Syndrome's a good villain. It's a great movie, but like you saw where I put on the Disney tier list. I'm not gonna say where I put it, but like superhero movies, this is still a really good one, I guess. Yeah, I'll probably put it in A tier. It's really good. It's just not like it doesn't really cross my mind when I think superhero movies. I think like Marvel and DC movies, like movies that I'll get to, and Spider-Man. But this is still a great film and definitely like watchable for people of all ages. Batman Begins came out 2005, directed by Christopher Nolan. This is a very good Batman film and just a very good film in general. Uh, it does a great job showing Batman's origin story, how similar to the first Raimi Spider-Man, how he became Spider-Man. But this is with Batman, and yeah, it shows death of Bruce Wayne's parents, and basically feels guilt, kind of like how Peter Parker felt guilt for Uncle Ben when he died. Uh, so yeah, it's a great story, and it's got a good twist like near the end. I won't spoil it because I know it's like one of my friends hasn't seen it. So yeah, it's just really good film. It's like a does a good job of like blending the like mystery, like crime drama, and also like superhero like aspect of the character all in one film. And I could rewatch it a lot. But with that being said, I'm gonna put an A tier. The reason I have an A tier and Spider-Man an S tier is because while I do really love this movie, it's the action sequences are subpar at best. Like the final battle, like if you know, I don't want to spoil, but there's like a lot of parts in the final battle where the camera just keeps shifting and like moving, like changes angles like every like split second. It's just really hard to watch, and yeah, it's just it just kind of bothers me. But it's still a great film. Next we got Spider-Man 3, which seems like what most people say is the weakest of the Sam Raimi trilogy, and I can see why, and I probably agree with that. It is the weakest of the Sam Raimi trilogy, but I don't think this movie is as bad as people say it is. Like, honestly, I feel like there's a lot of really good things in this film. I could, like I said, I love the Sam Raimi trilogy as a whole, and this is no exception. I think still a good film. Like, you can rewatch it. At least I can rewatch it. There are a lot of stupid things in it, like the dance sequence. Like, the first one was funny, that was good. Then the one in the bar is just they were going a little too far with that. It still has like it has really good action in my opinion. Uh, the fight with Peter and Harry, both fights with him were good. The final battle was really good as well. Um, and I like Peter's arc in this movie. It's a good job. Same with Harry. Uh, I like how it's a film about like pride and basically how that pride blinds Peter, and not just Peter, but like characters filled with pride, and they eventually realize what they're doing is wrong, and then they learn to forgive themselves. Like by the end of the film, that's what Peter does. That's what Harry did for Peter, and they helped each other out at the end, and I think that was really good. The Sand, my biggest issue with this is probably the Sandman story line with him being Uncle Ben's killer. I thought that was just kind of dumb, honestly. Uh, and I don't understand why and like in this entire trilogy as a whole, I really don't like Mary Jane, and she's like really weird in this one as well. The only time I understood like her anger was when Peter was like kissing Gwen Stacy, and that was kind of messed up. But even then, like she's really mean to Peter for no reason, even though he's Spider-Man. And yeah, I don't really like that. But still a great film. I could rewatch it a lot. I because I'm biased, I put an S tier, but nah, sorry, it's not going to be S tier, but it's still a great film, and I could rewatch it a lot. And uh, I'd probably put it right in the middle of A and B tier, but I can't. You can't really do that, so I'm just gonna round it up to A tier. I don't care. You could hate me for it, but I still really like this film. Okay, next we got Iron Man. It's the first movie of the MCU. Um, I remember watching this when it first came out, and I just remember watching it, but I don't remember how I felt about it, and I didn't remember anything from the film. Then I watched it like last summer, and then I thought it was just okay. Like honestly, like when I think like great, a lot of people think this is like the best like superhero origin story. I don't really necessarily agree with that. Like I think when I think like great superhero origin stories, I think films like the first Raimi Spider-Man and Batman Begins. Uh, This one is still like it's got some good stuff. Like Robert Downey Jr. is like the perfect decision to play as Tony Stark slash Iron Man. Um, Honestly, that's pretty much all I could say about it. It's just kind of unfortunate. Like the action is all right, but it's not that amazing. The villain is okay. It's just so too many like I wouldn't say forgettable, but there's not that many like memorable moments in this film that like stand out, and like nothing like powerful, like emotional, like that. There's nothing like yeah like that was in the Raimi films and the Nolan films. So for that, I'll put it probably in the C tier, and I might rewatch it, but it'll be kind of hard for me to rewatch. So yeah, I'll put it in the C tier for that. Uh, The Dark Knight. Yeah, everybody knows this film. Everybody's seen it. It's yeah, a lot of people consider it to be one of the greatest superhero films ever. I can definitely see why, and I'd probably like I could argue as well. There's so many great things that can make it that. Some people say it's one of the best films of all time. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it's still an amazing film. It's the Joker is one of the best villains, if not the best villain we've ever had on screen. Um, yeah, he's just a fantastic character. Heath Ledger is a great, amazing casting decision. But even though I love this film so much, like I said, just like the first Nolan film, the action sequences are a little subpar. Um, it's a little better than in Batman Begins, but they're still like mediocre, the action. And honestly, Batman is kind of annoying in this film. He's not annoying, but like if I'm watching a Batman film, I want this to be about Batman. And like this I feel like Joker kind of steals the spotlight, and he's this Joker is just that good. So other great things about it, Harvey Dent, Two-Face. I think he was a good character, but he's not amazing. Like I feel like they it's kind of like how I thought in Spider-Man 3 they should have just taken out Sandman. So I feel like or Spider-Man 3 could have been better without the Sandman. I think Dark Knight could have like it's still really good, but it could have been just a little bit better without Harvey Dent, or not without Harvey Dent, but without Two-Face at least. And but still, really good film. And I just I know I'm bringing up saying a lot of bad things about it, but like it's still amazing. Like it's still S tier. Right? Don't worry about it. Like yeah, I definitely recommend watching it. I think most people would probably like it. Now we got Megamind. I don't know why this is on the list, honestly, but whatever. I honestly don't really remember this film too much, so I don't really have much to say about it. But based on like how I remember I felt about it, I'd probably put it in B tier. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, so yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. Captain America: The First Avenger. Like I said, I haven't seen every superhero movie, so I just skipped like a couple of movies in the MCU. This is I think it was the fourth MCU movie, or maybe not. I'm not sure, but it was one of the earlier ones, and it was pretty. I actually saw this one a lot later. I saw the second and third Captain Americas before this one. Yeah, and then when I saw this one also last summer, I believe, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it, but there's nothing too spectacular about it. Like, uh, yeah, it's just an all right film. Like it's it's you can like watch it on like a I don't know how to describe it. It's just there's nothing too amazing. I'll probably put it in C tier. So it's average, maybe it's slightly above average, but it's not nothing that amazing about it. This yeah, let's put it in C tier. Thor. This is another one that I haven't seen in a long time, and I don't remember too much about. But uh, based on how I remember I felt about it, I'd probably put it in C tier as well. I know you're probably upset because I have like three MCU movies already all in C tier, and a lot of people are a big fan. I got Spider-Man 3 in the A tier, but this is my list. I'm just trying to give my honest opinion. Please don't disrespect. I respect all opinions. If you hate Spider-Man 3, that's fine. If you have great feelings about these movies down below, that's fine as well. This is just my opinion. Um, yeah. Uh, The Amazing Spider-Man. I remember watching this one, or I remember hearing about this film coming out when I was younger and thinking it was going to be a Spider-Man 4. And then I realized later on it wasn't, so I was really disappointed. Uh, yeah, and then I was kind of excited like to hear, hey, we're getting another Spider-Man when I was a kid, and then I watched it. I was just like, it was all right. Yeah, I just didn't care too much about it. This is like when I think Spider-Man films, this is probably the last one that comes to mind, if I'm gonna be honest. Uh, this one is just really forgettable. Like, Andrew Garfield is a good actor, but I just don't think he suited the Peter Parker role very well, and the writing for him was bad. I don't really care about what was it, Emma Stone's character, or is it Gwen Stacy? I don't care about her that much, or her dad. The Lizard was just a mediocre villain. Just nothing. He wasn't horrible, but he wasn't good. Nothing that good about him either. Um, yeah, it's just a forgettable film. I probably have a hard time rewatching. It's I probably put it between C and D tier, and for that I'll put it C tier. You'll probably upset why I put this in the same like category as the first Iron Man and Captain America, but remember I said it's slightly below just because like I can't like I put it like in between, but I rounded up just to be fair. So I put it in C tier. The Dark Knight Rises. This is probably the first uh Batman film from the Nolan trilogy that well, I've only watched the Nolan trilogy of Batman films, but this is the first Batman film that I remember watching. Like, well, no, I watched Batman Begins and Dark Knight before this one, but this is the one like I like clearly remember like when I watched this, like I didn't remember anything from Dark Knight or Batman Begins. So that honestly, I feel like because of that, probably made me like this film more, and I do really like it. It's a great film. Uh, but I also believe, kind of like with the Raimi trilogy, people think this one is the weakest of the Dark Knight trilogy, and I probably agree with that as well. Batman's just not that good in this film, I'll be honest. Yeah, he's just for some reason just randomly just he stutters. His voice is weird, and yeah, I just the action is better than it was in The Dark Knight. It's the best action in this trilogy, but even then, like the best the action is in here is probably like just as good as like the worst action in The Amazing Spider-Man. Uh, but it's still a good film. I like Bane. He's a great villain. His voice, like at first, I thought was really cool. Now I'm older. I was like, his voice is okay, and it's kind of annoying at times, but he's still a good villain. And I don't really like the plot twist at the end with that I forgot her name, that random girl being like Ra's al Ghul's daughter. Like I get it, like he wants. I like how Nolan adds plot twists to his Batman film, but I feel like that one was just kind of forced. But still a great film, and definitely like I probably rewatched it a lot. It's great, and I'll put it in A tier. Yeah. I say I'm kind of biased towards the Spider-Man and Dark Knight trilogy. So, but still, like even when I'm on, like I'd probably put them all in S tier. But if I'm trying to be objective, this is what I think of them, even with um with its flaws. I still see a lot of good things about them. The Avengers. I remember seeing this as well when I was a kid and being excited because I thought, and then when I finished watching the film, I was kind of disappointed that Spider-Man wasn't in it. I was hoping, when I was younger, I thought Spider-Man would be in this film, and he wasn't, so I was kind of upset. But it's still a great film. Like when I look back at it now, there's still a lot of good things about it, and it's the first time we get to see like superheroes and like like different superheroes like team up into one movie, and that's like a really cool concept. And yeah, it's really cool. Loki's a good villain in this film. Uh, so yeah, a lot of great things about it, and definitely rewatchable. Not, it's not super rewatchable. Like, um, I wouldn't put it like as far as S tier in terms of being able to rewatch it, but I still probably rewatch it and put it in A tier. Uh, Iron Man 3. This is another I okay. I haven't seen the second Iron Man, but I have seen the first and third one, and I actually saw like with the Dark Knight trilogy, I saw the Dark Knight Rises without remembering anything from the previous two. So I saw Iron Man 3 without remembering anything from the first one. And overall, I think it's a really underrated movie. Uh, it's the first like follow-up film from the Avengers. I like, I Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man is always perfect. I like it's got good action in my opinion, better action than the first Iron Man film. Uh, I like the suits and everything. It's a cool suit. The villain is all right. He's an all right villain. It's not that bad, but I feel like Iron Man's really good in this one, and that's probably the main reason why I like it so much. And personally think, even though I haven't seen the second one, I do think this is the best Iron Man film that I've seen at least. Uh, I'll put it in B tier. Yeah, I put it in B tier because like I could probably rewatch it, but like I definitely see all these other ones like before this one, but it's still a pretty underrated film at the end of the day. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. A lot of people consider this to be the best movie in the MCU. I could kind of see why, even though I don't necessarily agree with that, but it's still a really good film. I remember really, really liking it, like when I first saw it, and then my opinions kind of changed on it. Not because I watched it so much, because I haven't really watched it that much, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't really like about it. I feel what Chris Evans is a great Captain America. He does a great job in this film as well. Honestly, my biggest issue is probably the Winter Soldier. I don't like the yeah because I did see this one before I saw the first Captain America film, so I didn't know who like Bucky was at the time. But even then, like I didn't care too much about him at all, and yeah, I just didn't think he was that great a villain. But there are still a lot of great stuff in this film. Like the action is really good, especially that elevator sequence with Captain America fighting off was it Hydra? I think that was really cool. And, and they make you think like Nick Fury died or something. And yeah, there's a lot of great things about this film. So Yeah, I'll put an A tier. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah, I'll be honest. I do think this one is the worst Spider-Man film that we got, but even with that being said, like I really don't like this film. But at the same time, it's got some like redeemable moments, if that makes sense. Like the action is pretty good. I like the suit. It's probably my second favorite Spider-Man suit behind the Sam Raimi suit. It's pretty cool. It's got good web swinging. But like I said, it's got like the issues like the first film, like Andrew Garfield, like he's an okay Spider-Man. He's just not fit to be like the great, Peter Parker that we know. Um, he's yeah, and the characters are just okay. Just, um, the villains are just awful in this film. Like I didn't really mention the villains in Spider-Man 3 because personally they didn't really bother me that much. The only one I didn't mind in Spider-Man 3, or I did mind, was the Sandman because of like the storyline with him and Uncle Ben and him just being having like no personality. But I did like Venom and I did like um Harry going from like bad and turning good at the end and helping Peter. But I digress. In this film, the villain we got like Jamie Foxx's Electro, which is horrible, and then there was the other guy who was the Green Goblin. He was also really bad, and then yeah, it's just really awful. Like in Spider-Man 3 with the villains, they at least like tried to do something with them, and I could like see some of that, and most of it like was good in my opinion. But this film, I just didn't care about the villains at all. It's just yeah, it's gonna be like really really hard for me to rewatch. So yeah, I'll probably put it in the D tier. Uh, Now we have this is X-Men Days of Future Past. This is the first X-Men film that I remember watching explicitly, and I remember really liking it. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of great things. I think it was cool how like they went like back in time. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the X-Men franchise, but I did really like this film. Yeah, I liked most of the characters were good. I liked Wolverine. I like how he had like those different claws. He was metal. And then I liked what was it? Like Charles, I think was that other guy's name on the wheelchair. And yeah, it's just a good film. Magneto's a great villain, great action, and good story. I just remember like really enjoying this film. I don't really know why. I just really like it for some reason, and I can definitely rewatch it. Yeah, I'll put an A tier. Guardians of the Galaxy. I remember watching this and kind of liking it at the theater, but this is an unpopular opinion. I I don't hate this film, but I don't think it's as great as people say it is. Like like I said, some people everybody has different opinions, obviously, but some people think this one is best movie in the MCU, and I heavily disagree with that. Uh, I don't know. I'll be honest, like, the story's all right, not that big a deal. The action is pretty good as well. My biggest issue with this film is probably the characters. Like, I just don't care about any of them. Just like Star-Lord is just like kind of annoying. I don't like Gamora. I don't like the Rocket Raccoon. Groot is annoying as well. They're just all like, at least in my opinion, not just unlikable, but they're dislikable in my opinion. And it just, yeah, and it's the end where he's like dancing off with the villain. I just really didn't like it. It just didn't work for me very much. So yeah, because of that, I'm just gonna. It's not D tier category, but it's just not. It didn't work for me very much. So yeah. Big Hero 6, another film that I don't know why it's on this list, but it is anyway, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. It's a decent film, and if you saw it on my Disney tier list category, uh, or how I felt about this film. It's an alright film. Like I said, most of the characters I don't dislike, but I don't care too much about, besides Baymax. The action is okay. For a superhero film, it kind of does its job, but at the same time, it's just average, and like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to rewatch it anytime soon. So yeah, I'll put it there. Avengers: Age of Ultron. This is the second film of the Avengers series. Uh, A lot of people consider this to be the worst one, but and some people like really like it, think it's really good. I am of the former category though. It's a it's an alright film. Like it's not horrible, but yeah, it's just like it's got some like fun, good stuff, and the action is pretty good. And it's cool. It's always fun to see like all the superheroes like team up together. But Ultron is a good villain. I just some of them the characters I just didn't care for too much, and I didn't really know like I don't know. The story was a little like I don't know how to describe it. It's just a little. Uh, it wasn't that amazing, I guess. And I didn't really care. Like some of the characters, like I didn't even, like I completely forgot about until I rewatched clips from this film. Like yeah, it's just some wasted like characters, but it's still like a decent film. Like yeah, I'd probably put it B tier. Next we got Ant-Man. I've only seen this film once. It was when it came out in the theater, and I actually had really low expectations because it looked really dumb. And then when I went to the theater, I remember I really liked it. And it's a good film. I liked it's cool seeing him go from like giant to small and stuff. And I like the action scenes. It's pretty funny as well. It's I like the character Scott Lang, but honestly I don't really care about any other characters in this film. But it's still a pretty good, entertaining film, and it's got some pretty good action. Oh, oops. And yeah, I'd probably rewatch it, but just not as much as I'd rewatch some others. But I'll put it in B tier. Captain America: Civil War. This is the last movie of the Captain America trilogy, even though technically, it is a Captain America film. But when I watched this, it felt a lot, and it still feels a lot like an Avengers film, and that's probably my biggest issue. It's not really an issue, but that's probably why I don't look at the Captain America trilogy as like a complete trilogy. But it's still like as a standalone film, it's still really good in my opinion. When I first watched it, I thought it was okay. But then when I rewatched it, I thought, okay, this is actually pretty good. Like the action is really good in this movie, and it's the first MCU movie with Spider-Man in it, so I was excited when I saw that happen. Even though, yeah, I'll get to MCU Spider-Man in a bit, but it's a it was good, great action. The airport battle and the final battle, Iron Man and Captain America, was really good. Got some great emotional moments and power. Yeah, really it's really good. Yeah, just good film, and it's got like good messages about like how superheroes are like turning against each other and like how they're like affecting other people. So yeah, it does a good job of that. So I'll put it A tier. I'll put it A tier just because like I probably won't watch it as much as the other two. When I honestly, as an A tier, like both like categories have like really good films, but it just comes down to rewatchability, honestly. Yeah, so anyway, X-Men Apocalypse. Uh, I remember watching this film in the theater with like a bunch of family members and friends. Uh, I don't know why, but yeah, I just didn't really like this one that much. I don't know, maybe because like Wolverine wasn't in it at all, or I don't know. I just didn't like this one that much for some reason. I don't really remember too much about it, but I just remember not liking it that much. So I'm gonna grab it. Okay, so yeah, for that, I'll probably put it in D tier. Uh, yeah, so far we haven't gotten any like Brock movies, and I don't even know if we will have any soon. Oh, we'll get to that. Doctor Strange. This is another one where I have an unpopular opinion on. Yeah, feel I don't like this film that much. Like like it was cool like how he became Doctor Strange. He learned like his like the sorcery he like practiced and learned powers. And there's also like a lot of stuff I don't really like about this film. Like the action is all right. It's pretty like some of the action is pretty cool, but it's just I don't know, a lot of scenes like the hospitals and stuff. That's just not what I look for in a superhero film. But I do think like the character Doctor Strange is still pretty cool, and I like the what he did with Dormammu at the end. He's like, I found a bargain. was pretty cool. But so like I'm gonna have a pretty hard time rewatching this one. So yeah, I'll probably put a C tier. There's nothing that amazing about it. I know y'all are probably upset because I got like a lot of like favorite fan favorites and like pretty low like categories. I got some films that y'all don't like very much, like higher. But this is just my opinion. I was trying to be as honest as possible. The Lego Batman movie. I remember um seeing this one like and yeah, I remember seeing this after a basketball game with my friends, and I remember really enjoying it. And then I rewatched it like I think last year or something, and it was still really good. Like my opinion hasn't really changed on this one. There's nothing too much to be said. It's more, it's more childlike and like more for like the younger audience compared to other films on this list. But it's still like very fun, enjoyable movie, and yeah, there's just a lot of things I really like about it. So yeah, I'll probably put an A tier. Yeah, it might seem a little high, but it's just fun to watch. I don't know why. I just like it that a lot. Next we got Wonder Woman. I remember watching this in a movie theater for free actually. Yeah, we went to I think the timing was at like 11 o'clock, and then we got to the theater kind of late, and then it was actually closed. But then some lady just opened the door for us and said we could watch it for free. It was really nice of her. So yeah, but I digress. This film when I first saw it, I thought it was pretty good, but then now I'm just like, it's okay. I haven't, and it's kind of hard for me to rewatch, and I don't really care about the character too much. Like she's all right, but like it's nothing amazing about it. So uh, yeah, I probably put it like between B or C tier, but I'm gonna round it up to B, even though I probably wouldn't rewatch as much as these ones over here. It's still like it's all right, but it's not that amazing. Like most people say it is. All right, now we got Spider-Man: Homecoming. I think I saw this in the same weekend as Wonder Woman. Uh, yeah, it's the first standalone film for the MC or the first MCU Spider-Man film that we got. Even though, yeah, I said standalone, but I take that back because it's not technically a standalone film. Because, yeah, that's probably my biggest issue with this film is that, when I think Spider-Man, because I know I'm biased, obviously, but like when I think like the Raimi trilogy, I think the Raimi trilogy when I think Spider-Man, because like this guy's like a great hero and like he does everything on his own. And this one, he kind of relies too much on Iron Man, which is probably my biggest issue. But it's still, it's still a good movie. Like it's fun to watch, in my opinion. It's got, some characters can be kind of like, I don't really care about. Some characters are like, yeah, I don't really care. I don't like what they do with Aunt May in the MCU compared to what they did with the Raimi trilogy, even the Amazing Spider-Man series as well. At least like Aunt May like seemed like a caring person. This and like the Raimi trilogy, I thought Aunt May was really good. This one, she's just like obnoxious and just weird. Well, I like some characters. Like I like Ned. He's as his friend, Peter's friend. He's a funny dude. Um, I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but I do think Tobey Maguire is the best. But Tom Holland's still pretty good for the role. I feel like he fits this universe better than how Tobey Maguire fit this universe, but I think Tobey Maguire is better as a Spider-Man. Yeah, I do like that, and I like the villain. I like Vulture. Some things I don't like about him, but I do like his main motivations. And just some moments with him are just like kind of like they could have been better, but he's still a good villain. I really like the twist at the end. He was like, was like Peter's girlfriend's dad or something. And yeah, it's still pretty. It's a fun film. There's not much action though in it. I mean, there is some, but it's not like it doesn't like hit the same way the action in the Raimi trilogy did. So yeah, for that I subtract some points, but it's still a fun, enjoyable film. And I'd probably rewatch it. Yeah, I'd put it in B tier. Next we got Thor Ragnarok. I remember watching this in Disney Springs and yeah, the movie theater over there in Walt Disney World. Uh, yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It's probably because I didn't really remember the first Thor that much, and I haven't seen the second one, but I did like this one a lot. And there's a lot of great things about it. Like, Thor, is a great character. Chris Hemsworth does a great job playing him. He's a little different compared to how he was in the first Thor movie and the first Avengers film. But and honestly, like some people see that as like a con, I guess, and I can kind of see that as well. But also feel like that's a good thing at the same time. It made me enjoy the film more. I like I like Thor. Yeah, I like seeing Hulk was all right. I don't really care too much about the characters though, aside from Thor and Loki. Uh, but still, a good film. I think the villain was pretty good. Thor's sister. Yeah, Thor just has a lot of family issues, and it's got some good action, and got some a lot of funny moments too. But yeah, it's a definitely like really rewatchable in my opinion. So yeah, I'll put it in A tier. Next we got Black Panther, and I remember watching this the first time thinking it was a good film, and and then I thought like it was really really good. Now I'm just like, okay, it's not that amazing, but still pretty good. Yeah, it's a good film. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman's a great Black Panther. Michael B. Jordan does a great job as playing Killmonger, and he's a good villain. Not an amazing villain, but he's still a good villain. Uh, they have good motivations. I like Yeah, it covers some social issues near the end, which are pretty good considering what we're going through right now. And the action is okay. It's not that amazing, but it's okay. But still like a good film. This is solid. Yeah, this is a solid film. I'll probably put it in B tier because it's not like there's a lot of other movies that are just better, but it's still a pretty good film. Avengers Infinity War. I wish I saw this on opening night, but I didn't. I did see it, I think the weekend after, so all the hype was a little down, but I do remember really liking this one. I probably would have liked it even more if I saw it on opening night, but unfortunately I didn't. Anyway, uh, it's got, like I said, it's always fun to see like our heroes team up, and it's got a great villain with Thanos. It's got great action scenes. Seeing everyone work together against to defeat Thanos, seeing Thanos' motivations. A lot of people also consider him to be one of the best villains in superhero films, and yeah, I can easily see why in this film. Yeah, he's just very powerful. You know, the I like his motivation, his storyline. The only thing I don't like was, like I said, I don't care about the characters from Guardians of the Galaxy, so they kind of threw me off a little bit in this film, but this film is still really good and probably my favorite MCU film. I'm gonna be honest with you. So yeah, there's just a lot of great things about it. I could definitely rewatch it. I haven't seen it in a bit. I should probably rewatch it soon. Yeah, I'll put it in S tier. Next, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's the first film after their post-Infinity War. I don't know why I watched this film a lot. I really don't know why. It was good, but I don't know why I watched it like that much. I do think this one's also kind of underrated. It's not that amazing, but it's still pretty good. Got some good action and some funny moments. But like I said, like the only character I care about is Scott Lang. I don't really care about the characters that much. I don't really like the villain either. Was it like a ghost or something? It's just it's an alright film. It's a I could probably it's not too hard to rewatch, but because I've seen it so many times, I'm gonna put it in C tier. But still, I still think it's underrated though. Yeah, it's a okay film. We got The Incredibles 2, it's the sequel that came 14 years in The Incredibles, and this is another film that I put on the Disney tier list. It's a, it's a good film, I enjoyed it. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I already have on my other list. So I'm just going to just talk about where I want to place it. I'll put it in the B category. Yeah, it's a good fun film, just, you know, for a superhero film, it's not the best thing ever, but still pretty good. Now we have Venom. This is another unpopular opinion. Uh, I I really like this film. Honestly, it's like I could rewatch it a lot, and it's just I don't know why. Like the story's not that amazing, and the villain is okay, but I don't know why I just have so much fun watching this. Like I'm not gonna say it's better than the Raimi films or even Spider-Man 3. But still like there's just so many like I don't know why. I really liked Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. I do think he does a better job of playing Venom than the Venom we got in Spider-Man 3. Uh, Despite my liking for that Venom, but it's still, it's still, I don't know why. I just have so much fun watching this, even though it may not be the best film ever. So because like I enjoy it so much, I'm probably gonna, I put it between A and B tier. I'm just gonna round up to A tier. I don't know why. I just really like it for some reason. Now we got Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I saw with a bunch of friends, and honestly, I wasn't really uh I didn't. A lot of people were excited about this film. I wasn't that excited about it, and then I watched it with a bunch of friends in the theater, and then I thought it was pretty good, not amazing. Then my opinion started to change a little bit. I was like, it's okay, and I really don't understand like all the hype or like why people love this one so much. Like, like I said, like I feel like the main thing I look for in films are like a good like mixture of like stories, characters, and like themes and stuff and action. This one's got pretty good action. The story's pretty good as well. It's not amazing, but it's good. I feel like my biggest issue is the characters. I don't really care about Miles Morales too much, or the other most of the characters in the film. The only one I kind of liked was Peter B. Parker. But like even then, like I feel like there were a lot of good moments in this. I'm not gonna disregard that, but it's just I feel like this one could have been a lot better. I don't know. If you like this film, think it's the best Spider-Man film, that's fine. I respect that. It's just I didn't love it as much as other people did, but it's still like a decent film. So I'll put it in B tier. Yeah. Now we got Aquaman. I saw this one early 2019, also in Disney Springs. Uh, yeah, it's a visually this is a really good film. Like it's got great animation and CGI. The action sequences are actually really good as well. But that's about it, honestly. There's nothing much else to say. I don't really care, like the story or the characters that much. It's just a lot of boring and forgettable moments as well outside of the action. I don't really like the characters. I don't like Aquaman's character that much, or some of the even like the villain or other characters. Uh, Willem Dafoe is in it. Fun fact, which is kind of cool. But yeah, overall it's not that amazing. So, eh, yeah, I don't honestly. It's not D level, but it's not that good either. I'll put a C. We got Captain Marvel. This is a yeah, I saw this one late March. This is basically supposed to get you hyped for Endgame. I don't know why. It's just it didn't really do that. But it's a very mediocre film. I don't really like character that is or the characters that much. There's no like ultimate villain in the film, and the action is just meh. It's, yeah, I don't really like this one that much, and I don't really like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, and I don't like the character either. It's just a really average film, and probably gonna have a really hard time rewatching. It's just really boring. Yeah, so I'll put it in D tier. I got Avengers Endgame, and we have Spider-Man Far From Home, even though it's not showing up. I will talk about Far From Home. Avengers Endgame. I remember watching this on opening night and really loving it. I was like so excited and like basically screaming in the theater. The whole theater was screaming, and yeah, like I I saw it the first time I watched it. I was like, this is like one of the best films ever. And then I thought I put it ahead of Dark Knight, and then now I look back, I was like, okay, I really rushed into things there. Like I was just way ahead of myself, just caught up in all the hype. But it's still really good. Like I said, it's always fun to see like the superheroes like team up, and I feel like yeah, it's the best like seeing them team up in this film. And then Thanos came like near the end, and the final battle is probably the best final battle we got in the MCU, and arguably one of the best final battles in any superhero movie ever. And yeah, it's just really good, the action scenes and stuff. My only issue is that yeah, this film is 3 hours long, and when I first watched it, it didn't feel that like it went really fast. And then when I rewatched it, it felt really, really long, and yeah, it's but it's still a great film. It just has a slow start. That's it. It just takes like an hour until you get into all the exciting stuff. But it's still a really good film and definitely worth rewatching. So I'll put an A tier. Yeah, and it's not here, but I will talk about it. Spider-Man: Far From Home. It's the sequel to Spider-Man: Homecoming and the first post Endgame movie. Uh, okay, kind of similar to the first to Spider-Man: Homecoming in terms of like story-wise. Uh, yeah, I like this one better than Homecoming. I'll be honest. Tom Holland as Peter is good. He's better in this film, and I really enjoyed this one. Uh, yeah, I really like Far From Home. I at first I thought Mysterio was one of the best villains ever, and now I'm just like, he's not that great a villain. I'll be honest. He's just like, all the other, not all the most villains in the MCU is just like Tony Stark did something to me, now I'm gonna kill the world. I don't really like that much. Uh, some of the characters I don't really care about. The I don't like MJ in this one. I don't like the MJ and Raimi trilogy either, but like I don't know, for some reason I just especially don't like her in Far From Home. And yeah, she just comes off as like kind of weird and just annoying. I don't really like that, but still like good action sequences in this film and Peter's motivation as I don't like the motivation in terms of, like trying to become like Iron Man but I do like how he wants to uh, you know how he wants to live a normal life, kind of like how Peter did in Spider-Man 2. I feel like Spider-Man 2 did a better job of portraying that, but it's still good in Far From Home, and it's definitely rewatchable. I'd probably put it in the A tier. Yeah, or I'd probably put it in like, 'cause there's also a lot of things I don't like. I probably put like, yeah, I'll put an A tier. I probably put like halfway between A and B tier, but like I'll round that up to an A tier. So yeah, it's still a good film. Uh, yeah. All right, so that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed. Uh, if you did, leave a like and let me know if you want to see more tier lists on something else. And check out my other video of the Disney animated movie tier list. Uh, yeah, this is just my opinion. If you disagree, that's fine. So let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe for more content, and I'll see you later.